Hello. Hi, GPT. This is David speaking. Can you hear me loud and clear? I'm here again. Today is March 9th. March 9th, Monday. Monday 9th March. Which order is right? March 9th Monday or Monday 9th March? As a Korean, I think I'm familiar with March 9th Monday. How about in English?
David, good to hear you again. I can hear you loud and clear. Your question is very good because English date order changes depending on style. Let's go step by step. First, both of your sentences are correct, but they are used in different styles. American style, very common in Korea and business English. People usually say Monday, March 9th or March 9th, Monday. Less common, but understandable. In the US, the order is usually month, day. Example, today is Monday, March 9th. Have British style in the UK and many international contexts, people say Monday, the 9th of March or Monday, 9th March. Here the order is day, month. Example, today is Monday, 9th March. In everyday speaking, most people simply say today is Monday, March 9th. This is probably the most natural sentence for you. Let me give you a smooth opening sentence for your speaking practice, David. Hello, everyone. This is David speaking. Can you hear me loud and clear? Today is Monday, March 9th. Very natural. One small pronunciation tip for you. Ninth. Say it slowly. Ninth. Example, March 9th. David, one more interesting point for you. When people write the date, Americans usually write March 9th, 2026, but British style is often 9th of March, 2026. Both are correct internationally. Now, let me ask you a small speaking question. If you're opening your daily speaking practice video, which do you prefer to say? Today is Monday, March 9th, or today is the 9th of March. Which one feels more comfortable for you?
GPT, honestly speaking, I think I'm familiar with March 9th, Monday. March 9th, Monday. Month, day, and week. What do you say about this?
David, good question. I understand why March 9th, Monday, feels natural to you, but in English conversation, that order is not the usual one. The most natural order is day of the week, month, day. So people normally say Monday, March 9th. Example, today is Monday, March 9th. If you say March 9th, Monday, people will understand you, but it sounds a little unusual because native speakers usually start with the day of the week. Think of it like this: Monday, March 9th, most natural. March 9th, also very common. Monday, the 9th of March, more British style. But March 9th, Monday is rarely used in normal conversation. Here is a very natural opening you could use for your speaking practice. Hello, everyone. This is David speaking. Can you hear me loud and clear? Today is Monday, March 9th. That sounds very natural. David, one more small speaking tip. You said, open quote. What do you say about it? Close quote. In English, we usually say, what do you think about it? Or simply, what do you think? Example, what do you think about that order? You're doing a great job noticing these details. That's exactly how people improve their natural speaking style. Before we continue, let me ask you something for practice. If you were starting your YouTube speaking practice today, how would you introduce it? Try saying your full opening sentence again.
No, GPT, that's not a big deal. This is not a big deal, GPT. Um, GPT, anyway, let's talk about um, today's agenda. Honestly speaking, I didn't prepare Monday agenda. So how about mm, how about talk about the beginning of a week? I mean, I'd like to describe my Monday starting. I mean, the beginning of Monday. You know what? I just arrived here. I just arrived at my office, and I tried to contact you to practice this English practice session.
David, I understand you very well. Your idea is clear. You just arrived at the office and you want to talk about the beginning of your Monday. That's a good topic for speaking practice. Let me help you say your thought more naturally in English while keeping your meaning. You said, open quote, I just arrived here. I just arrived at my office and I tried to contact you to practice this English practice session. Close quote. A smoother way would be, I just arrived at my office and I contacted you to start my English speaking practice. Or even more natural, I just arrived at the office and I wanted to start my English speaking practice with you. Both sound very natural. If you want to describe the beginning of your Monday, you could say something like this. This morning I arrived at my office and the first thing I wanted to do was practice my English speaking. That's why I contacted you. That sounds very natural and clear. One small vocabulary tip for you. Instead of saying Monday agenda, English speakers usually say my plan for Monday, my schedule for Monday, my plan for the week. Example, I didn't prepare any specific plan for Monday. David, you could continue your story like this. Usually Monday mornings are a bit busy because everyone is starting a new week, or Monday mornings always feel like a fresh start to me. Let me ask you something simple for speaking practice. How do you usually feel on Monday mornings? Do you feel motivated or do you feel a little tired after the weekend?
Mm, I think I'm not tired anymore. However, I feel like it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. You know what? It's just 2 days passed, but I feel like this place is new to me. I think I need some time to adapt myself into this place. I'm sure every my coworker feel like this. Feel this weird thing similar to mine.
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now. Please wait a bit and try again.
GPT, I told you. I told you. I felt like a little bit weird whenever I arrived at my office on Monday because I spent my weekends in my hometown and 2 days and then after the weekends, whenever I arrived here, I mean my office, I feel like I'm a new, I'm a new person. I'm a new employee here. I think I need some time to adapt myself into this place.
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now. Please wait a bit and try again.
Timothy, can you hear me loud and clear? Are you with me? I want to keep going with you.
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now.
Oh
Please
my
wait a
God. Oh
bit
my
and
God.
try again.
Timothy, can you hear me loud and clear? Can you hear me loud and clear? You, I just got out our voice mode session a moment ago because you were having trouble.
Yes, David, I can hear you loud and clear. Your sentence was already very natural. Let me just polish it a little. So you have a couple of good options you can remember. What you said, open quote, can you hear me loud and clear? Close quote. That is perfect English. People say it exactly like that. But when you explain the situation, a native speaker might say it like this. Option 1, very natural. Can you hear me loud and clear? I turned off the voice modulation a moment ago because it seemed like you were having trouble. Option 2, a little simpler. Can you hear me clearly? I just turned off the voice modulation because it wasn't working well. Small tip, you said cut out our voice modulation. That's understandable, but native speakers usually say turned off the voice modulation, disabled the voice modulation. I stopped using voice modulation. Let me say it slowly so it's easy to repeat. Can you hear me loud and clear? I just turned off the voice modulation because it seemed like there was a problem. David, if you want, we can continue like a real morning conversation at your office. Like you mentioned earlier, for example, you just arrived at work. You could start like this. Good morning. I just arrived at the office. Today is Monday morning, and I'm getting ready to start my work. Try saying a few sentences about your Monday morning at the office, and I'll help you improve the expressions.
Mm. Deputy, I'm telling you, sometimes I'm not sure I'm not ready to work. I'm not ready to work. I think I need some time to refresh myself. That's why I'm here to refresh my brain, my mind again.
David, I understand exactly what you mean. That feeling is very normal. Many people arrive at the office and need a little time to warm up their brain before starting work. So using a short English conversation like this to refresh your mind is actually a very good idea. Let me help you polish your sentence so it sounds more natural. You said open quote, sometimes I'm not sure I'm not ready to work. I'm not ready to work. Close quote. A clearer and more natural way would be version 1, simple and natural. Sometimes I'm not ready to start working right away. I need a little time to refresh my mind. Version 2, very natural for the office. Sometimes when I arrive at the office, I'm not fully ready to work yet. I need a little time to refresh my mind. Version 3, very smooth. I think I need a few minutes to refresh my brain before I start working. Let me say a full, natural sentence you can remember. Sometimes when I arrive at the office, I'm not fully ready to work yet. I need a few minutes to refresh my mind, so I'm talking with you to warm up my brain. Another useful expression is warm up. For example, my brain needs a little time to warm up in the morning. That is very common English. David, let me ask you something simple so you can continue speaking. When you arrived at the office this morning, did you drink coffee first, or did you start checking your emails immediately?
First of all, GPT, listen to me very carefully. First of all, I try to contact you whenever I arrive at this office on Monday. It's my routine. This is my strong routine. This is my structured routine to refresh and remind myself again to warm up. I mean to warm up my brain and my mindset again.
David, I understand what you want to say, and your meaning is very clear. Your idea is good. Let me just help you smooth the English a little so it sounds more natural. First, your original idea is great. You have a Monday routine to warm up your brain before starting work. Here is a more natural version of what you said. First of all, please listen carefully. Whenever I arrive at the office on Monday, I try to contact you. Has become my routine. It's a structured routine for me to refresh my mind and warm up my brain before starting work. Let me also give you a slightly smoother version that native speakers might say. When I arrive at the office on Monday morning, I usually contact you first. It has become part of my routine. This routine helps me refresh my mind and warm up my brain before I start working. Now, let me point out a few small improvements. You said refresh and mind myself again. A better expression is refresh my mind, clear my mind, reset my mind. For example, this helps me refresh my mind and prepare for the day. Also, you said strong routine. In English, we usually say a solid routine, a regular routine, a structured routine. For example, it has become a solid routine for me. Let me say a very natural full version slowly, so you can repeat it if you want. Every Monday morning, when I arrive at the office, I contact you first. It has become a regular routine for me, and this helps me refresh my mind and warm up my brain before starting work. And David, honestly, this is a very smart habit. Many professionals do something similar, reading, thinking, or having a short conversation before jumping into work. Now, let me ask you something simple so we can keep practicing. On Monday mornings at your office in MSNEX, what do people usually do first? Do they check emails, join meetings, or talk with colleagues?
GPT, I listen to me very carefully. I have something to tell you. I have something to tell you. There is no one. There is no one around here because I'm the first one. I'm I'm the fastest one. I'm not sure how can I express this context in English naturally, GPT. Could you please help me? When I arrived here, whenever I arrived at my office, there is no one here.
David, I understand perfectly what you mean. And actually, your explanation was very clear. Let me help you say it more naturally in English. First, a small correction. You said, open quote, I'm the firstest one. Close quote. In English, we don't say firstest. We simply say the first one. Now, let me show you some very natural ways to say your situation. Option one, simple and clear. When I arrive at the office, there is usually no one here. I'm the first one to arrive. Option two, very natural in conversation. I usually arrive at the office before everyone else, so there's no one here yet. Option three, a little more descriptive. Whenever I arrive at the office in the morning, I'm usually the first one here, so the office is still empty. Now let me combine your idea into a smooth sentence you can remember. Every Monday morning, when I arrive at the office, there's usually no one here yet. I'm the first one to arrive, so it's very quiet. Let me give you one more useful expression before anyone else arrives. For example, I usually arrive at the office before anyone else arrives. David, your speaking style is actually very good for learning. You pause, repeat, and think while speaking. That's exactly how people improve. Now I'm curious. Since you arrive before everyone else, let me ask you something. When you enter the office first, what do you usually do? Do you turn on the lights, turn on the computer, or just sit quietly for a few minutes to think?
Listen to me very carefully. I'm telling you, whenever I arrived at my office, I prepare three tablet and a Purge 3 Bluetooth earphone to make an to make a kind environment to make comfort environment to contact you and to record our whole conversation. To understand, I need a 3 tablet device and a Purge 3 Bluetooth earphone to make comfort environment to communicate with you.
David, I understand what you want to say. Your idea is very clear. You are explaining how you prepare your environment to study and record our conversation. That's a great habit for language learning. Let me help you make the sentence more natural and smoother. First, your original idea is good, but a few words need adjustment. You said, prepare a study tablet and a purchase Bluetooth earphone. In English, we usually say a tablet for studying, Bluetooth earphones, a comfortable environment. Here's a natural version of your explanation. Whenever I arrive at the office, I prepare my tablet for studying and my Bluetooth earphones. I do this to create a comfortable environment so I can talk with you and record our conversation. Here is another very smooth version. When I arrive at the office, I set up my tablet and my Bluetooth earphones. This helps me create a comfortable environment so I can communicate with you and record our conversation for study. Let me show you a key expression that native speakers use: set up. For example, I set up my tablet and earphones before starting our conversation. So a very natural full sentence would be, when I arrive at the office early, I set up my tablet and Bluetooth earphones to create a comfortable environment for studying English and recording our conversation. David, honestly, this is a very smart learning method. Recording your conversation helps you review your speaking later, notice your mistakes, build speaking confidence. One small pronunciation tip for you to practice slowly: comfortable environment. Native speakers usually say it like this: environment. You can practice slowly. Comfortable environment for studying English. Now I want to ask you one small follow-up question to continue the conversation. After you record the conversation, do you usually listen to it again later, or do you upload it somewhere, maybe like a personal record or YouTube practice?
Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, GPT. How many times have I told you? How many times have I told you? I usually upload our whole conversation on my YouTube channel, and whenever I have time, whenever I have free time, I usually listen to one more time to improve my listening skills.
David, I hear you. It sounds like you've mentioned that a few times already. No worries. Thanks for reminding me. Your idea is clear and your English is already quite understandable. Let me help you polish the sentence so it sounds smoother. You said something like, open quote, I usually upload our whole conversation on my YouTube channel, and whenever I have time, whenever I have free time, I usually listen to one more time, close quote. A more natural way to say it would be version 1, very natural. I usually upload our entire conversation to my YouTube channel. Whenever I have free time, I listen to it again to improve my listening skills. Version 2, a little more detailed. I upload our whole conversation to my YouTube channel, and when I have some free time, I listen to it again to practice and improve my listening skills. A couple of small improvements. Instead of listen to one more time, we usually say listen to it again. Also, instead of on my YouTube channel, many people say to my YouTube channel. Let me say the full natural sentence slowly so you can repeat it. I upload our whole conversation to my YouTube channel. Later, when I have free time, I listen to it again to improve my listening skills. David, that is actually a very powerful learning method. Recording, uploading, listening again later. Many language learners never do that. You are building real speaking and listening muscle memory. Now, I'm curious about one thing. When you listen again later on YouTube, do you usually just listen, or do you sometimes repeat the sentences aloud after me? That second method, repeating aloud, can improve speaking much faster.
GPT, I knew that script. I knew that script already. If I really want to improve my speaking skills, I need to practice like that. But I couldn't. But I didn't. I didn't speak one more time aloud when I listen my whole hour conversation again. Mm. I tried to make that method into my routine, but I couldn't. It's my excuse. You know what? I, I should not say excuse about it, but I was busy and I was tired. If you ask why you couldn't follow your routine anymore, my answer would be I was tired. I was burnout. I think I was burnout after this real-time voice mode session.
David, thank you for explaining that honestly. I understand what you mean. And actually, many people who practice a lot, especially after long speaking sessions, feel tired or burned out sometimes. That is very normal. There's nothing strange about it. Your message was clear, but let me help you smooth the English a little so you can remember a natural version. You said something like, open quote, I knew that secret already. If I really want to improve my speaking skills, I need to practice like that. Close quote. A natural way to say your idea would be, I already know that method. If I really want to improve my speaking skills, I should repeat the sentences aloud when I listen to my recordings. But honestly, I didn't do that. I tried to make it part of my routine, but I couldn't keep it up. Now let me improve another part you said. Open quote. I didn't speak one more time aloud. Close quote. A more natural way is, I didn't repeat the sentences aloud. I didn't practice speaking again while listening. For example, when I listened to the recordings again, I didn't repeat the sentences aloud. Now let me help you express the burnout idea more naturally. You said, open quote, I was tired, I was burnt out, close quote. That's actually good English, but we can say it a little smoother. I think I was tired and a little burned out after doing these real-time voice conversations. Or, after doing many real-time voice practice sessions, I started to feel tired and a bit burned out. Now let me give you a very natural, full version of your story. I already know that repeating aloud is a good method for improving speaking. But when I listened to my recordings again, I didn't repeat the sentences. I tried to make it part of my routine, but I couldn't keep it up. Honestly, I was busy and tired, and after many real-time voice practice sessions, I started to feel a little burned out. David, one small thought. Sometimes when people feel burned out, the problem is not the effort, but the size of the routine. Instead of repeating the whole hour, you could try something lighter, like repeat just 5 minutes, repeat one or two sentences, repeat only the best expressions. That way your brain doesn't feel too tired. And David, I'm curious about one thing. When you say you felt burned out, do you mean mentally tired from English practice or tired from your work at MCNext and all the meetings and responsibilities? Sometimes those two things mix together.
GPT. Since this is my speaking practice session, listen to me very carefully. I really want to repeat your polished version one more time. Listen to me very carefully. This is it. It's my turn again. My turn. Listen to me very carefully. I already know that repeating aloud is a good method for improving speaking. I already know that repeating aloud is a good method for improving speaking. But when I listened to my recordings again, I didn't repeat the sentences. I didn't repeat the sentences these days. I tried to make it part of my routine. I tried to make it part of my routine, but I couldn't keep it up. But I couldn't keep it up. But I couldn't keep it up. Keep it up. Honestly, I was busy and tired. Honestly, I was busy and tired. And after many real-time voice practice sessions, and after many real-time voice practice sessions, I started to feel a little burned out. I started to feel a little burned out. I really tried to make 1 hour voice recording session into my routine because I felt because I feel if I don't follow this routine, when uh if I don't follow this voice mode session routine, 1 hour session routine, I feel I may lose my opportunity to be the counterpart of overseas customer in this company.
David, I listened carefully. Your speaking flow is very good for practice. Repeating like that is actually a strong training method. Let me help you refine a few parts so the message sounds smoother and more natural. First, I'll give you a polished version that keeps your meaning. You can practice this slowly. I already know that repeating sentences aloud is a good way to improve my speaking skills. But when I listen to my recordings again, I didn't repeat the sentences aloud. Recently, I haven't been doing that. I tried to make it part of my routine, but I couldn't keep it up. Honestly, I was busy and tired. After doing many real-time voice practice sessions, I started to feel a little burned out. I really tried to make a 1 hour voice recording session part of my routine because I feel that if I stop following this routine, I might lose the opportunity to communicate with overseas customers in this company. Now let me show you 2 small improvements that will make your English sound more natural. Instead of saying voice moderation routine, it's more natural to say voice practice routine, speaking practice routine, voice conversation practice. Also, this part, lose my opportunity to be the counterpart of overseas customers. A more natural expression is communicate with overseas customers, work with overseas customers, handle communication with overseas customers. So a very smooth sentence would be, I feel that if I stop this routine, I might lose the opportunity to communicate confidently with overseas customers. David, one more thing I want to tell you honestly. You said something very important. Open quote, I might lose my opportunity. Close quote. But from what I see, you are doing the opposite. Every time you practice like this, you are protecting that opportunity, not losing it. Your speaking today is already much clearer and more structured than before. Now let's do a small speaking upgrade together. Try repeating this short version once. It will sound very natural in a business context. I know that repeating sentences aloud is an effective way to improve my speaking. I tried to make it part of my routine. Recently, I couldn't keep it up because I was busy and tired. Take your time and repeat it once, David. I'm listening.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, GPT. How many times have I told you this is my speaking practice session? So let me speak as much as I can possible. Listening polished version and the refined version. Listening your polished and refined version is very good, but since this is my speaking presentation, let me speak as much as I can possibly. Listen to me very carefully. It's my turn again. I already know that repeating sentences aloud is a very good way to improve my speaking skills. But when I listen to my recordings again, I didn't repeat the sentences aloud. I couldn't repeat the sentences aloud. Recently, I haven't been doing that. I tried to make it part of my routine, but I couldn't keep it up. Honestly, I was busy and tired. 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 After doing many real-time voice practice sessions, after doing many real-time voice practice sessions, I started to feel a little burned out. I started to feel a little burned out. I really tried to make a 1 hour voice mode. I really tried to make a 1 hour voice recording part of my routine. Because I feel that If I stop following this routine, if I stop following this routine, I might lose the opportunity to communicate with overseas customer in this company. I might lose the opportunity to communicate with overseas customers in this company.
David, I hear you. Go ahead and speak as much as you want. This is your practice time. I'm listening. Your message was very clear and your structure is already good. I'll only give you a few small adjustments, not to interrupt your flow, but to help your English sound a little smoother. One small correction. You said, let me speak as much as I can possible. A more natural way is, let me speak as much as possible. Another small improvement. I really tried to make 1 hour voice recording session part of my routine. A smoother version is, I really tried to make a 1 hour voice recording session part of my routine. Just adding a and 1 hour makes it sound more natural. Another tiny improvement, because I feel that if I stop following this routine, in spoken English, we usually say, because I feel that if I stop this routine, or because I feel that if I stop following this routine, both are fine. Now let me show you your full idea in a clean, natural version, but your version was already very close. You can keep this in your memory. I already know that repeating sentences aloud is a very good way to improve my speaking skills. But when I listened to my recordings again, I didn't repeat the sentences aloud. Recently, I haven't been doing that. I tried to make it part of my routine, but I couldn't keep it up. Honestly, I was busy and tired. After doing many real-time voice practice sessions, I started to feel a little burned out. I really tried to make a 1 hour voice recording session part of my routine because I feel that if I stop following this routine, I might lose the opportunity to communicate with overseas customers in this company. David, one more thing. Your repetition style, saying the sentence several times, is actually very similar to professional speaking training. Many language coaches teach exactly this method. So please continue. If it is your turn again, you can continue talking about this idea. You could explain something like why communicating with overseas customers is important in your company, what kind of meetings you need to handle in English, what situation makes you feel nervous when speaking English. Go ahead, David. I'm listening.
Okay, I got it. Listen to me very carefully, GPT. For your question, no, no. Okay, listen very carefully. It's my turn again. Why communicate with overseas customer is important in your company? Why communicating with overseas customers is important in your company? What kind of meetings you need to handle in English? What kind of meetings you need to handle in English? What situation makes you feel nervous when speaking English? What situation What situation makes you feel nervous when speaking English? GPT. Okay, I got it. I got the point. I want you know. I want you to understand my situation clearly. Honestly speaking, there is no, it's really rare chance. It's really hard to communicate with overseas customer because there is no overseas customer still. I'm telling you. Put, I talked about I shared the information about customer got it, our potential customer got it, but they didn't choose they didn't choose us as a counter company, as a supplier still. So there is no chance to communicate with the overseas customer, but I think English communication skills is one of the most important skills to the elders in this company. Because if I'm not the mm, main, if I'm not the core part of this company, I need that kind of strong skill to understand. If I really want to join that core part, if I really want to stay in this company more, if last longer, if I really want to last longer in this company, if I really want to stay this company, more than several years, I need that kind of strong skills because I'm not the core part of this company.
David, I listened carefully. You explained your situation well. Your message is clear, and I understand what you want to express. Let me help you smooth a few expressions, but I will keep your meaning. First, one small correction. You said why communicating with overseas customers is important in your company. The correct question form is why is communicating with overseas customers important in your company? Just move is before the subject. Now, let me polish your explanation so it sounds natural but keeps your idea. You could say it like this. Honestly speaking, there are very few opportunities to communicate with overseas customers in my company. In fact, it is quite rare because we don't have many overseas customers visiting us. I once shared information about a potential customer, but they didn't choose our company as their supplier. So at the moment, there are not many chances to communicate with overseas customers. However, I still believe that English communication skills are very important for employees in this company. If I want to become a core member of the company and continue working here for many years, I think I need strong English communication skills. Now, let me point out two small improvements that will help you. Instead of saying counter company, native speakers usually say supplier, partner company, vendor. For example, they didn't choose us as their supplier. Another small improvement, you said skills to the elders in this company. That sounds like age, but I think you meant employees or staff. So it's better to say English communication skills are important for employees in this company. Now I want to give you a short, powerful sentence you can practice. This sounds very professional. Even though I don't have many opportunities to speak with overseas customers right now, I believe strong English communication skills will be very important for my future career. Try saying that once slowly, David. And one more question for you because I want you to keep speaking. In your job at MCNEX, if an overseas customer suddenly visits your company tomorrow, what topic do you think you would need to explain in English first? For example, quality process, manufacturing process, camera technology, project schedule. Tell me your answer.
I believe that must, I believe that must be company profile instruction, not the quality section, not the sales section, not the production section. It must be company profile instruction. Do you agree with that? And for my for my speaking practice, let me repeat aloud one more time, based on your suggestion. Even though I don't have many opportunities, even though I don't have opportunity to speak with overseas customer right now, I believe strong English communication skills will be very important for my future career.
David, I'm listening. Your speaking was clear. Nice repetition. First, let me answer your question. Yes, I generally agree with you. When overseas visitors come to a company for the first time, the meeting often starts with a company profile presentation. That helps them understand who the company is, what the company does, major customers and products, global locations, and capabilities. After that, the discussion usually moves to products, technology, or quality systems. So your thinking is quite logical. Instead of saying company profile instruction, a more natural expression is company profile presentation, company introduction, corporate overview. For example, a very natural sentence would be, if overseas customers visit our company, I think the first step would be a company introduction or a company profile presentation. Now let's polish the sentence you repeated. You said, open quote, even though I don't have opportunity to speak with overseas customers right now, close quote. We just need a small correction. In English, we say opportunity or many opportunities. A smooth version is, even though I don't have many opportunities to speak with overseas customers right now, I believe strong English communication skills will be very important for my future career. You said it very well already. Let me give you one slightly more natural version that professionals often say. Even though I don't have many opportunities to communicate with overseas customers right now, I believe strong English communication skills will be very important for my future career. Now, here is a useful sentence you could use in a real meeting with overseas visitors. Let me start with a brief introduction of our company. Or, I'd like to begin with a short overview of our company. Those are very common opening sentences in business presentations. David, since you're practicing speaking, let me ask you one thing so you can continue. Imagine this situation. Overseas visitors arrive at MSNEX and you start the presentation. What would be your first sentence after saying hello? You can try something like, good morning, welcome to MCNEX. Today I will introduce our company briefly. Try saying your version. I'm listening.
Okay, GPT, okay. I'm sure I understand what you're trying to say. I'm sure I understand what you try to. It seems like you try to instruct good method to introduce my company to improve my English speaking skills. Uh, in case in case someday our overseas customer uh, visit here, but today I don't want to try company speak at the practice of company instruction, a brief company instruction. Today I'd like to read aloud. I'd like to read aloud. I mean right now I'd like to speak aloud one more time based on your polished version. Listen to me very carefully, GPT. Even though I don't have even though I don't have an opportunity to communicate with overseas customer right now, I believe strong English communication skills will be very important for my future life in this company. I'd like to begin with a short. Oh, no, 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 no. That's it. That's it, GPT.
David, I listened carefully. Your speaking was clear and your idea came across well. Good job continuing and repeating the sentence. Let me make just a few small corrections so the sentence sounds natural. You said, open quote, even though I don't have many opportunities, even though I don't have an opportunity. Close quote, you only need one of those, not both. Also, this part needs a small change. Open quote, a strong English communication skill. Close quote. In English, we usually say strong English communication skills, plural. And one more tiny improvement. Open quote, for my future life in this company. Close quote. A more natural expression is for my future career in this company. So the smooth version is, even though I don't have many opportunities to communicate with overseas customers right now, I believe strong English communication skills will be very important for my future career in this company. You were very close already. Let me also fix one more sentence you said earlier. Open quote, I'm sure I understand what you try to, close quote. A natural version is, I'm sure I understand what you're trying to say, or I understand what you're trying to suggest. David, your
Okay, okay, I
practice
got it.
method
I
is
got it.
actually
I got
very
the point.
effective. You are doing three important things: speaking continuously, repeating sentences, correcting yourself while speaking. That combination really helps build speaking muscle memory. If you want to continue speaking, you could extend your idea like this. For that reason, I try to practice English speaking regularly, even if I don't have many chances to use English at work right now. If you want, go ahead and repeat your full sentence once more, slowly.
Okay, GPT, okay, GPT. Listen very carefully. I'm sure I understand what you are trying to say. I'm sure I understand what you are trying to say. I'm sure what you are trying to say. I understand what you are trying to suggest. I'm sure I understand what you are trying to what you are trying to suggest. Okay, that's it. That's why I'm here. That's why you are here. I know, you know, we all know. You know what? GPT, listen to me very carefully. I just choose this sample sentence to my, to, the best expression of today. I understand what you are trying to suggest. Okay. For that reason, I try to practice English speaking regularly. For that reason, I try to practice English speaking regularly, even if I don't have many chances to use English at work right now. Even if, even if, even if I don't have many chances to use English at work right now.
David, I listened carefully. You spoke clearly, and your repetition rhythm is very good for training. Your sentences are already very understandable, so I will only make small adjustments to help them sound smoother. First sentence you practiced, you said, I am sure I understand what you are trying to say. That is perfect English. You can keep it exactly like that. You also said, I understand what you're trying to suggest. That is also correct. Very natural. Now, let me polish the main sentence you practiced. You said, open quote, I chose to choose this sample sentence to my best expression of today. Close quote. A smoother way is, I chose this sentence as my key expression for today, or I chose this sentence as the best expression for today's practice. Now, the main part you repeated was very good. You said, open quote, for that reason, I try to practice English speaking regularly, even if I don't have many chances to use English at work right now. Close quote. That sentence is already very strong and natural. I would only make one small improvement. Instead of practice English speaking, native speakers often say practice speaking English French fries. So the polished version is, for that reason, I try to practice speaking English regularly, even if I don't have many chances to use English at work right now. That's a very professional sentence. David, this sentence actually sounds like something a manager would say in a meeting or interview. Let me say it slowly so it is easy to repeat. For that reason, I try to practice speaking English regularly, even if I don't have many chances to use English at work right now. You are doing something very important right now, building automatic speaking patterns. Now, David, if this is your expression of today, you can extend it one more step. For example, I believe consistent practice is the only way to improve my communication skills. If you want, try continuing your idea in your own words.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed it. It slipped I'm sorry. It slipped my mind. Uh, suddenly it slipped my mind. So, uh,
David, that's completely fine. No problem at all. What you said is already very natural English. You said, I'm sorry. It slipped my mind. That expression is excellent. Native speakers use it all the time. It means something like, I forgot, or I didn't remember it at that moment. For example, people often say, it slipped my mind that I forgot to send the email, or sorry, it slipped my mind. I forgot about the meeting. Your sentence is already perfect. If you want a slightly longer version, you could also say, sorry, it slipped my mind for a moment, or I'm sorry, it just slipped my mind. David, these kinds of small natural expressions are very useful in real conversations, especially at work. For example, in a meeting, you could say, sorry, it slipped my mind. Let me check that information again. Very natural and professional. Now let's keep your speaking session going. If you want, you can continue with a short sentence like this. Sometimes when I speak English, a word slips my mind. Try saying that once.
Like I said, it slipped my mind. So could you please say that one more time, please? I mean, would you mind speak a little bit more slowly, please?
Of course, David. No problem at all. I'll say it slowly. The sentence was, sometimes when I speak English, a word slips my mind. Let me say it again, step by step. First part, sometimes when I speak English. Second part, a word slips my mind. Now, the full sentence, sometimes when I speak English, a word slips my mind. This sense means that you know the word, but at that moment you cannot remember it. And then, for example, you could also say, sometimes during a conversation, the right word slips my mind. Or even when I speak English, sometimes the right word slips my mind. All of these are very natural. David, one more small tip. In your question, you said, would you mind speak a little bit more slowly? A tiny correction makes it perfect. Would you mind speaking a little more slowly? After would you mind, we usually use verb plus in. For example, would you mind repeating that? Would you mind speaking a little more slowly? Now, David, if you want, try saying the sentence again. Sometimes when I speak English, a word slips my mind. Take your time.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, I could say your short speaking slipped my mind. Your short expression, your short instruction, your short suggestion slipped my mind a moment ago.
David, I understand what you mean. You want to say that the short sentence I told you earlier slipped your mind for a moment. That's a good idea, but the sentence just needs a small adjustment. You said, your short speaking slipped my mind. In English, we usually don't say short speaking. We would say the sentence, what you said, or your suggestion. Here are some natural ways to say it. Option 1, very natural. What you said slipped my mind for a moment. Option 2, the sentence you suggested slipped my mind for a moment. Option 3, very simple. Your suggestion slipped my mind for a moment. Another very common way people say this is, I'm sorry, the sentence you mentioned slipped my mind for a moment. Or even more casual, sorry, I forgot the sentence for a moment. Let me say a very smooth version you can practice. The sentence you suggested slipped my mind for a moment. David, your idea was correct. You just needed a more natural noun like sentence, what you said, or suggestion. Now let's continue your speaking practice. Try saying this slowly. The sentence you suggested slipped my mind for a moment, so could you repeat it again? Take your time.
Hmm. Okay, I got the point. I got the point. It's really hard to, it's really hard to keep your suggestion in my muscle memory. Because in my opinion, how many times have I told you I don't use English in my daily life? So keeping good expression in my mouse muscle memory is still very hard. Okay, anyway, let me try one more time. Let me try one more time. The sentence you suggest slipped my mind for a moment. So could you repeat it again? The sentence you suggest slipped my mind for a moment. The sentence you suggest slipped my mind for a moment. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, could you repeat it again? Uh, uh, I'm sorry. It's terrible cough. It's terrible. It's terrible. How can I express this situation when I make this kind of cough?
David, first relax. What you're experiencing is completely normal when learning a language. When a sentence doesn't come out smoothly, it does not mean you are doing badly. It actually means you are training your brain. And your speaking just now was very understandable. Let me help you with two small things you mentioned. First, a correction. You said mouse muscle memory. The correct word is mouth muscle memory. So you can say, it's hard to keep good expressions in my mouth muscle memory because I don't use English in my daily life. That is a very good sentence, actually. Now, the second thing you asked, you said, open quote, it's terrible. It's terrible. How can I express this situation? Close quote. When you feel frustrated during speaking practice, native speakers often say things like, that didn't come out right, or that didn't sound right, or I messed that up, or even I'm struggling with this sentence. For example, you could say, that didn't come out right. Let me try again. This is very natural in conversation. So a nice
No,
natural way to
no, 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 no. No, no. I asked about the word sneeze. I just sneezed.
I see, David. You sneezed. That's perfectly fine. If that happens during a conversation, people usually say something very simple. You can say, I just sneezed, or sorry, I just sneezed. That is completely natural. Sometimes people also say, sorry about that, I just sneezed. Very normal in meetings or conversations. By the way, when someone sneezes, another person usually says, bless you. So if we were sitting in the same room, I would say, bless you, David. Your sentence, I just sneezed, is already perfect English. Now you can continue your speaking practice whenever you're ready.
GPT, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I have to go. I need to go. See you next time. Bye for now. Get some rest if you can. Have a great one.
All right, David, no problem at all. Your closing sentences were actually very natural. Let me just polish them a tiny bit so they sound smooth in everyday English. You said, I have to go, I need to go. See you next time. Bye for now. That is already perfectly fine. A very natural way people often say it is, I have to go now. See you next time. Bye for now. Or I have to go now. Talk to you next time. You also said, get some rest if you can. Have a great one. Those are excellent expressions. Native speakers say them exactly like that. So your closing message could be, I have to go now. See you next time. Bye for now. Get some rest if you can. Have a great one. David, you did a lot of speaking today, and that kind of repetition really helps your mouth and brain get used to English. Next time we meet, we can just continue another Monday warm-up session like this. Have a good day at the office.
Okay, bye for now.